I got to tell you who's coming up, Fezzi, in just a few moments. It's one of America's great film directors and artists. He's written a brand new book called Catching the Big Fish, Meditation, Consciousness, and Creativity. In just a few moments, David Lynch is going to be coming into our studio. And big David Lynch fan, big fan of his work and all his films, and he's coming in right now. All right, here he is, an American original coming into the studio now, Mr. David Lynch. How are you, sir?
Really good, Ron. Thanks.
Great to meet you. I was reading the book, Catching the Big Fish, which is really a metaphor for the ideas that you go looking for your work.
Right. Ideas are the most important thing for creativity. We can't do anything without an idea. So the good idea is to figure out a way to catch them and catch them on a deeper and deeper level.
Now, the interesting thing, too, is right from the beginning, as far as your film work went, you have always been on the outside of mainstream Hollywood, and it never seemed like you ever go, what does the audience want? What does the film studios want? You've always given us something very different.
Well, I came into filmmaking from painting. And painting, you just get ideas for the painting world, try to realize those ideas, action and reaction living in the world of paint. And I figured filmmaking is just exactly the same way. You're called a filmmaker instead of a painter, and you got to do what you believe in, and that is translating those ideas, staying true to the idea.
That's interesting, too, because I think a lot of your films are like modern art, where the first time you see them, you may not have the same reaction the fifth or sixth time that you look at it.
People say that.
Yeah. So you follow the idea almost like you're there to serve the idea, rather than
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're translating that idea and trying to stay true to it. When we get an idea, we see it just like a TV screen in the mind. We see it, feel it, hear it, and write it down so we don't forget it, and then translate it.
That's so. See, I do a show called Unmasked where I interview comedians, and some of the best comedians that have worked in the last 20, 30 years. Some even go back even further. And very few people, the interesting thing to me about comedy is people will write on stage. So you'll actually be able to watch the creative process. But very few of them seem to take credit for the ideas that they have. It's almost like it's coming from somewhere else.
Like fish.
Yeah.
And this flow of creativity, that's what we really want. And I think those people that can go live and get that comedy thing, flowing, a flow of ideas that make people laugh. There's ideas for everything. And get in tune to that flow of creativity.
Well, what's interesting to me, though, too, and I will agree that there seems to be some kind of creativity that maybe we can't even understand yet. But why would, let's say, Richard Pryor be in tune to one type of creativity, David Lynch another, and Mick Jagger even another kind?
Because on the surface of life, we're all different. And we have our personality, our likes and dislikes. So I always say Sally's going to fall in love with certain ideas, and Bill's going to fall in love with another set. It's just the way it is. And so you could get lots and lots of ideas in the day, but only, a few that you would truly fall in love with. When you get that idea you fall in love with, it's a beautiful day.
Right. Or maybe sometimes some of us get ideas that we don't have the capacity to see come to life,
That's the frustration.
Right.
And so you get a great idea for you fall in love with it, and you can't realize that. That's a heartache.
Right.
But there's ways to overcome things.
Like what? Like to study the craft? Or
No, yeah, just to, persevere. After you get the idea, most everything is common sense. So if you get the idea, you're in love with it, you can figure out a way to realize it over time.
Wow. So it's up to you to figure out how to realize the stuff that you've been thinking about.
Exactly right.
And we use this, obviously we prepare kids with, school and everything, but so many times that doesn't help you in the creative world.
Right. Now, the whole thing is I've got this foundation, a David Lynch Foundation for Consciousness-Based Education and World Peace. what you find is schools now are in kind of bad shape. We
Right.
just get facts and figures, and they say stress is hitting kids at a younger and younger age. There's trouble in the schools, many, many schools, stabbings, shootings, fights, depression. You know, it's not so fun.
Right.
And you give them this technique of transcendental meditation. It's a mental technique, an ancient form of meditation that literally and truly opens the door to the deepest level of life. Mm-hmm. Unbounded, infinite, eternal, pure consciousness. Modern science's unified field. In Vedic language, it's called Atma, means the self. Know thyself. You give kids this chance to dive within, truly experience the deepest level, experiencing it, they enliven it, and grow in that. Transforms life. They start enjoying life. Happiness from the inside. It's an ocean of infinite intelligence. Grades go up. Relationships with the fellow students get so good. Transforms just from experiencing this deepest level of life twice a day.
So you've done this for a long time.
34 years, twice a day.
34 years, twice a day. You'll go into a meditative place. You'll stay there for like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, you in transcendental meditation, you're given a mantra. Mm-hmm. Mantra, very specific sound, vibration, thought. That mantra you're given will turn the awareness within. We're always pointed out, looking for happiness out there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we find happiness out there, but we know we live in a world of change, and we see it fade, and then we look somewhere else for happiness. They say true happiness is not out there. True happiness lies within. So this is a way to go within and find that treasury, infinite bliss, infinite happiness, infinite creativity. The same creativity that creates the universe and universes. Eternal field, unified field, unity of all the particles and forces of creation. You can experience it. And when you experience it, it's an all positive field. And when you experience this, you enliven it, and life truly gets better. And those ideas start flowing more. Happiness. The side effect of expanding consciousness is negativity starts to recede. So stress, anxiety, tension, sorrow, depression, anger, need for revenge, hate, and fear automatically start lifting away. So you can work in freedom. The happier you are from the inside, the more those things can flow. Conduit opens up when negativity lifts off. Beautiful, beautiful thing for the human being, and the greatest thing for the artist.
How did you first get involved with this?
I heard that phrase, true happiness is not out there, true happiness lies within. And I always say, that phrase has a ring of truth, had a ring of truth to me. I think it has for all human beings, whether you believe in this or not. But they don't tell you in the phrase how to get to the within or where the within is. One day, the penny dropped, and I said, wait a minute, maybe meditation's the way to go within, find that happiness. Mm-hmm. Then you find there's many, many, many different forms of meditation. Many. Which one is right for you? And I read stuff. I asked questions. One day, my sister called, says she started transcendental meditation. I liked what she told me about it. Mm-hmm. But as I say, most importantly, I heard a change in her voice. I know my sister. I heard more happiness. I heard more self-assuredness. I put the thing together and said, that's for me.
Right. Now, some people will confuse this with a religion, but you don't see it that way.
It isn't. Mm-hmm. It's a mental technique. It is not a religion. Very important. There's so many misunderstandings about transcendental meditation, about all forms of meditation. It's not a religion. People from all religions practice it. Mm-hmm. It's a mental technique that will open the door to the deepest level of life, the transcendent, eternal field. It's a field of oneness, so it's beyond duality, oneness. It's non-relative, absolute. It's beyond the field of relativity. It's beyond space and time. It's eternal, unbounded, infinite. You experience that. You experience unbounded, infinite consciousness, a sublime experience. The splash of that dive within is bliss. Unbelievable, sublime, power, waves of happiness. And it's so beautiful in meditation, but what it does for your life outside is incredible. Freedom, happiness. Happiness in the doing. And I always say people do things, but so many people, it's drudgery. They're doing it for the reward at the end of the road, the fruit of the action. This gives you happiness no matter what your line of work. More and more happiness in the doing. This is your life going by. Why not really start enjoying it? It comes up from the inside.
David Lynch is here with us today. He's got a brand new book, and it's Catching the Big Fish. This is available just about everywhere now, and
yeah,
and also you're making some of the meditation known to people, younger people, as well as all people can get involved in this now.
Absolutely, it's a technique you can learn. You need a legitimate teacher of Transcendental Meditation. Teachers are full-time. It takes about 4 days for the whole course. There's an introductory lecture, meeting the teacher, you're being taught, they're given the mantra and taught how to use it. Now you have your first meditation, new questions come up. Get those answered in 3 follow-up meetings. So when you leave, you know you're meditating correct, and off you go. There's no mood making. There's nothing. You add this technique to your life, watch things get better. Any more questions come up, always go back to the teacher. Feel you're not meditating correctly, you always go back and get your meditation checked.
And you feel like this is where the ideas from your work have
Ideas
come
are everywhere. You don't have to meditate to catch ideas. Ideas start everything. Oh, I need a cup of coffee. I would like to have a cup of coffee. That's an idea. So you go get one. But like I say, everyone has consciousness, but not everyone has the same amount. Why would we want to go through with whatever amount we have? Why not unfold the full potential of the human being? This is what education should do. Give them a chance to expand that consciousness. And when you expand the ball of consciousness, you're able to catch ideas at a deeper level. They're coming up. We don't know them till they enter the conscious mind. Consciousness. Without consciousness, we don't exist. And if we did exist, we wouldn't know it. They say the I amness of life. We can only say I am because of consciousness. It is life itself. We're spun out of consciousness. It is the reality. Pure, unbounded, infinite wholeness, totality at the base of matter and mind. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, the self of us all. And to expand it is so sublimely beautiful and easy.
All right, so if we're doing this is where the ideas are coming from. The bad ideas come up as well, right?
Bad ideas.
Ideas that hurt other people, ideas that,
Those things are part of the whole trip is learning about things. You hold your hand in the flame on the stove, and pretty quick you realize that is not a good idea. You do things to others, and how can you tell if something is a good thing to do or a bad thing to do? You just ask, would I like this to be happening to me? Pretty quick you get the idea. But that's an intellectual thing. You get more and more bliss, more and more. It's an ocean of infinite love. You start bringing that up, expanding that, and you don't want to hurt somebody else.
You just want more of the good feelings.
You see the negative things lift. A lot of things we do are out of frustration. People do want more and more and more. Well, here's an ocean of infinite more. Infinite. When you are frustrated and you want something and you can't get it, sometimes we resort to things that are not so good. A lot of times we learn they come back and bite us. So it's a process. But with more and more of this, I say, you're more in tune with nature. Obstacles seem to dissolve. The heavy weight of negativity lifting, just more fun to be alive. Freedom.
All right, David Lynch is here. Catching the Big Fish is the book that he's written, and some of it is about you meditating, and some of it is about scripts that you've written, a lot of it about the films that you've done. And what is always interesting to me, and I see it in a lot of artists, you haven't given up any of the other art forms. You actually even work with wood, and you paint and sculpt and just do whatever you'd like to do. Although you're most famous as a filmmaker. And again, for all this, do you feel like when you meet creative people that they're the same kind of way, that they're able to create more than one way?
Absolutely. I say that it's, again, the ideas. Going along, bingo. I always say that's how can they draw the light bulb in the cartoons. Bang, I got an idea. This idea is a chair. You see the chair in your mind. You see what it's made of, the shape of it. And you can then go into the shop and build that human being thing. We might be best known or, do most of our work in one avenue, but it's all those avenues are open to us. So beautiful to catch ideas and make things.
And you're saying that even if people are just coming up with smaller ideas, I want to get a cup of coffee, I'm hungry, I want to find a warm place to lay down, it's because they're not going deeper. That these kind of ideas, the kind of creative work that you do, is open to anyone.
Open to every human being. Mm-hmm. And by the way, transcending, experiencing that deepest level is a human being thing.
Right. So what do you say to the young people that they get these ideas and they go to Hollywood, or they go to, their parents or the schools, they say, here are the ideas, and they're turned away immediately because you're too young. Things like this doesn't happen to kids from this neighborhood,
The world is not just, it's always changing. Mm-hmm. A kid with an idea, the kid with an idea is like me with an idea. How can I realize this idea? And like I said, most of it is common sense. I need this thing, that person to realize this scene in this idea.
Right.
And so you go and you do that thing. If you don't have the money, you go and find that money some way. And you realize that idea. Just don't take no for an answer. Keep on persevering. But the more of that inner happiness, that more of that inner creativity, and more inner intelligence, it's an ocean of infinite intelligence and creativity, remember. More of that flowing, and it's a kind of a thing where Mother Nature will help you more and more and more.
So you'll even pick it up from other people in the set. You feel like because you're open to this stuff, maybe you'll hear ideas from other folks, and
ideas can come from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I always say, you get an idea. I never get a whole film at once. Come in fragments. Then they form a script, and that script is now organized ideas that you follow and stay true to in the translating to cinema. But along the way, you stay on your toes, because another idea can come in at any moment. Comes out of happy accidents, comes out of just sitting and thinking about something, and bingo, there it is. A thing isn't finished till it's finished. And so it's a process. It's a beautiful process built on these ideas that come.
Now, how do you? I'm sure you get a lot of ideas thrown to you from like studio people, like, "Hey, let's add 7 or 8 pop songs to the soundtrack." Or
no, I don't. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I'm sure that people are trying to bring that up to you all the time.
I've never really worked for a studio, and I believe that everyone has a voice. Everyone has a voice, a unique voice. Find your voice. Stay true to the ideas. Stay true to yourself. Don't let anybody monkey with that thing. For a film to really hold together as a whole, it needs to be filtered through the one filmmaker. Others can really help you realize those ideas and stay true to them. You need people helping you. Never turn down a good idea, but don't ever take a bad idea. Why would you do that? Why? It needs to hold together. Now, if it's a total failure, you won't find the money next time, maybe.
Right.
Or these people won't want to work with you. But they should encourage you, inspire you, and help you stay true to those ideas in your voice. That's why they gave you the job to direct this picture.
But there's always the people going, "Hey, if you compromise, you'll be able to get more things. If we can have a Pepsi can in this shot."
Yeah. This is a slippery slope to trouble. Mm-hmm. And it's not really serving the idea or anything positive.
David Lynch is here with us. Catching the Big Fish is his book, where he talks about the way transcendental meditation has helped him throughout the years, and there's also got other websites that you can check out.
CinemaArtsCenter.org, because that's where David Lynch will be appearing tomorrow night starting at 8 o'clock talking about the David Lynch Foundation.
David, you bring up the joy and the bliss that you get from this, but as we watch your films, there's some of the most terrifying things that I've personally ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I get this question, and it always is, David, if you're so blissful, how come you do these things? These are the ideas that I fell in love with. And I always say, films, music, books reflect the world in which we live. We live in a dark and troubled world. Stories throughout time always hold contrast. The human condition, highs and lows, the whole range. Mm-hmm. But the artist doesn't have to suffer to show suffering. Have the suffering on the screen, in the books, in the music. Create a world where people can go in and have an experience, but wouldn't it be beautiful to come out of the theater into a world at peace, into a happy life? You've had this experience. It's been fantastic being in that world for that time, but come out into, a good thing. Nowadays, a lot of people come out of a thing into a worse situation than they were in the film.
Sure. So, and I'm also interested in this too. A lot of your films, they deal with, different realities and maybe separate. And I would only guess as I'm trying to figure out a lot of your films. But do you, and I noticed that the unifying theory is something from physics. Do you follow like the quantum physics?
I travel with my friend Dr. John Hagelin, one of the world's greatest quantum physicists, who will tell us that we live in a field of relativity, 10 dimensions of space, right. 1 dimension of time. Lots and lots and lots of places, lots and lots of levels. When you meditate with transcendental meditation, you go through that. You go through what Maharishi calls the marketplace, directly to the palace, the big treasury, underlying all of that field of relativity. Experience that. Unfold that. You're unfolding your full potential, and then you'll own all the territories. You're unfolding totality. The human being is a most beautiful being.
Mm-hmm. So you even experienced some of that stuff before, I guess you had read about quantum physics. You would pick that up from your transcendental meditation work.
You don't necessarily say, oh, this is this dimension, this is this.
Right.
But understanding grows. Knowingness. Right next to the big absolute is an area they say of all-knowingness. Mm-hmm. All-knowingness is like intuition. It's a knowing. And I give the analogy of, like, say, 10 violin players. They're each playing the same piece of music. How come one of them can raise the hair on the back of your neck and thrill you, almost make you cry? What is that difference? This knowing, intuition, the greatest tool for the artist, greatest tool for the human being, a knowing. We have the capability of all knowingness. We need to unfold it. Total bliss. Mankind was not made to suffer. Bliss is our nature.
I also noticed when I'm watching your films that the viewer will be affected on so many levels, that color plays a part, light, sound, the dialogue. And again, is that something that everything that's done that way is done purposely from you, or?
Yes, it's done purposefully to stay true to the idea. Mm-hmm. You got a scene. This scene comes with a mood, a feel. This scene is on the blue side. It's darker. It's more storm-like. It has a mood that requires people to move at a certain speed, to speak at a certain level, to speak a certain way, to dress a certain way, all based on the idea The camera's here. It feels correct based on the idea. The idea is telling you everything. You just stay true to it in the translation.
But nothing is left up to chance. You see this stuff first, and then you try to recreate it in this world.
You do the best you can. Film is made up of many, many elements. You try to never walk away from anything until it feels correct based on the idea. If you do that, the whole has a chance of hanging together.
We're talking with David Lynch, and if you'd like to pick up the book, it's Catching the Big Fish. And it's very interesting, as I said before, some of your films I will watch again, sometimes on the fifth viewing. I have a completely different feeling about them. And yet, every time that the DVDs come out, I always go in, is there going to be a director's analysis here? Is he going to help me through the experience? And you've never done it yet.
Right. I feel that the film is the thing. Nothing should be added. Nothing should be taken away. It is what you've worked to make a certain way based on those ideas. So to me, it's an absurdity to go and talk over something. Every film, seeing the film every time after that is colored by what you heard, the director say. Completely destroys that world. It's never seen the same way. It doesn't have an opportunity to be itself. In a way, as I say, staying true to the idea is staying true to the notes in the music. Stay true to the notes, the harmonics will stay true. So you have a possibility of going back later and catching those harmonics instead of just the notes. It can talk to you in different levels. Stay true to the idea.
Well, David Lynch, he's not going to explain our the film experience to us, but he will tell you how he creates. It's all right here. Catching the Big Fish. According to David Lynch, everybody can get to this state and everybody can be creative.
Absolutely, positively, and happy.
Thank you so much, my friend. It was great to meet you.
Ron, thanks a million, pal.
And you can
Fez.
see, thank you, David. And you can see him tomorrow at the Cinema Arts Center in Huntington, Long Island. That's tomorrow night starting at 8 o'clock. For more information at cinemaartscenter.org. And also check out davidlynchfoundation.org. And Catching the Big Fish is in stores everywhere. It's the Ron and Fez Show.
It's the Ron and Fez Show. Just had David Lynch in there. He's got such a strange vibe about him, and I've been his. Did you see Eraserhead years ago? Did you see it in the theater when it used to run the midnight thing, or
Didn't
did you
see
catch
it in the
on
theater.
tape?
On tape.
Yeah, I remember seeing the T-shirts for Eraserhead long before I ever saw. Rolling Stone used to run a little thing where you could buy a T-shirt. I saw that thing for years before the first time I went. Jesus Christ is playing somewhere I could go to tonight, and that is one bizarre movie. All of his movies are so damn bizarre.
Yeah, they really are, but they're just absolutely brilliant.
It's really, really cool to hear that he doesn't really judge these things, that they just come up and he puts them in the movies. I mean, I've watched some of his films and been so frustrated of what the hell just happened. But as time goes by, I really do have a tendency to get into them, even when I don't understand them. And when he started saying that he makes the pacing of the films go like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of his films, Fez?
I've seen Blue Velvet.
That's all?
Yeah, that's it.
I think I've seen every film that he's done. And they are... The pacing is always this real comfortable... Do you want a piece of pie? A piece of pie? Yeah. Do you want a piece of pie? And I'm like, well, come on. Sometimes I'll be watching, pick it up. And then the other times I watch it, it'll be just trance-inducing.
Yeah. And there's sometimes the horror in some of the David Lynch movies are so infinitely better than any horror movie or whatnot you'll see.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of stuff that'll stay with you and frighten you for a long time. Don, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ron. I'd just like to thank you for the best interview that I've ever heard. I saw Eraserhead when I was in junior high, and I've always felt that it's affected my life. And I've never heard David Lynch speak, and he was exactly what I felt he was going to be, and it was just an awesome interview, and just thanks a lot. It was great.
Oh, thank you, man. It was really cool to meet him. And also, this one came 100% from Earl, who had to go through a lot of different things to get him, including sending him stuff to his people so they could see that we do some serious interviews. And then also going, well, I brought it up yesterday when I thought we weren't going to get it. No, it's not. You can't just go by the listening thread on the website. You can't. We're not that. So that's why I got a little off on those people yesterday, because I thought we had blown it. Here is Freddie. Freddie, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How are you, buddy?
How you doing?
Yeah.
2 points. First of all, the quality guests that just pop up on your show just blows my mind every time. Just a great interview.
Well, the cool thing there is, like, you're not really going to see David Lynch do the Tonight Show. That's
I don't remember the last time I saw an interview with David Lynch. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The second point is his theory on ideas. That just blew me away. That was, and if someone asked me, who would you want to hear a theory on ideas from, he'd probably be at the top of the list. Just brilliant stuff.
Well, we do a lot of this talk on the Unmasked show at the same time of, like, where stuff comes from. And it's really, really interesting how mystical it can be to people. So if you have a tendency, well, who does this a lot? Hip-hop guys. When they always go, I want to thank God. It's all come to God. Because a lot of people who write stuff and create stuff really don't know how they do it. And they're just kind of waiting for that to happen. I always think of it as like, waves on the beach. Either they come up or not. And then you have to be able to, you have to have enough craft to ride the wave. You just can't be out there as a guy who doesn't know how to ride waves and suddenly a huge wave comes and it's a good thing. Right. It can be, pretty rough for you. I wanted Paulo on with us. Did we ever get a hold of him? I wanted him to be part of that interview with David Lynch. Hey, Paulo.
Paulo, you like the movie. How you doing?
There you are.
Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here. I've been slacking a little bit. I understand.
I wanted to try to hand Gap to David Lynch.
Yeah, I know. Admittedly, obviously, he's all about self-examination. Obviously, he's been doing it for 30 more years, and not everybody's into that.
You're not into it?
I'm very much into it.
Oh.
I mean, that's all that life's about. I mean, really, you just try and figure out what you're going to do up to the day you die.
Now, with self-examination, is that the way that Dave's always looking at his penis?
No.
I think it's part of it.
Or crouching over a mirror so I can see how his asshole looks.
That's how I defend it.
Red.
Truthfully, I think
David Lynch, I want you to guess what's up Dave's ass right now. Oh, David Lynch, here comes fucktwat. We should have just turned this into a David Lynch film. Just one scary thing after another coming in.
Hi, Mr. Lynch. I'm gonna fuck you now.
To me, the most David Lynch moment was I see David Lynch walk out of here, and then 2 minutes later, Fonzie Z-Man comes in a leather jacket and sunglasses.
Hey.
Paulo, I'm going to be Popcorn Ronnie B this year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do agree with you that David Lynch probably would have liked Gap. So, I mean, but yeah.
I think he would have loved it.
I think so, too.
I think that he would have said, hey, this is me on my worst day. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I'm always saying good things to you, Paul. Because I know the last time we talked, you said I crossed the line.
No, I'm just.
How's Melly doing? Is everything okay?
No, nothing's okay. But I'm doing the best I can.
What's going on, pal?
I want to be up. Look, I want to tell Fez that his life is great, and he needs to go into to Four Winds and just kick ass and tell him fix me.
Going there.
And because your life is.
How are you? You're a little freaked out, huh, Fez?
I am totally freaked out. I am scared to death to go into the Nut Hut this weekend.
What is your biggest fear?
It's actually twofold. One, that I'm going to get locked up and not be allowed back out once I go in there.
Let me just say this. Yes. All right, what's your second?
The second one is that it won't work.
And no. I tell you, I don't know what to do if it doesn't work.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's really one of the last cards to play.
I may have to take you for a walk, tell you to think about the rabbits while I put one in the back of your brain. The big movie this weekend, Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah, absolutely. And then there's another movie. I mean, I don't believe
There's
it's
another movie.
going to be. I don't believe it's going to be a blockbuster summer for you. I think you're going to give people shit about that all summer long. But there's a lot of movies.
You don't think I can do 6 blockbuster films?
There's a lot of blockbusters this year, and they look pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, Iron Man was actually.
All right, the only one I got to see this weekend is Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
And then what do I have to see the weekend after that?
Then you have Speed Racer.
Wow, that's scary.
So that's 2 weeks in a row.
I know when I see Iron Man, at least I'm going to have Robert Downey Jr.
All
So
right,
that gives me some comfort.
I can run down the big movies of this summer.
All right, that's 2. Give me the 3rd.
Then you get a week off.
Yeah.
And May 22nd, you got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that's going to be
to
fun.
Take a week off.
I might take Casey. But she
Hey.
doesn't have anyone to go with.
No. She was going to have me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have Narnia sandwiched in there.
Oh,
between-
man, dudes, I'll freak out if I have to watch Narnia. I'm not even kidding you.
You don't have to. You
I'm
can sign
really
up.
scared about watching Narnia.
Then you're off till June 13th, and when you enjoy Ed Norton in the new Incredible Hulk.
Oh, I'll enjoy that, I think, because
Well,
the last one was so damn great.
You've got Sex in the City and Kung Fu Panda in there.
No, I can't see Sex in the City either. And what's the other one?
Kung Fu Panda.
What's that about? It's a panda that has kung fu
It's
powers?
animation panda.
I'll go out of my mind, dude.
Cartoon.
Who does karate?
Jack Black cartoon.
I don't think I can do it. I might have to quit.
Yeah,
I might have to
told you
quit
you're gonna
this.
quit.
If you quit, can Dave and I say our
Yeah.
summer movies then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then I'll be the big loser. Only after I throw in the towel.
Okay.
If you tap
But this
out.
is like planning rapes. It's like, first you're going to get raped by a small Chinese guy, then an Ecuadorian, then a very large black man. You're like, whoa, wait, now it's too far. Like the first couple rapes, you're like, I think I can handle.
Right.
But Patrick Ewing, I don't know.
Now you got the Happening after the Hulk. That's the M. Night Shyamalan.
I
film.
hate him.
It could be good. I think he's a very talented filmmaker. He's a little as a human being.
Somebody, another great film critic wants to say hi to us. What's up, dude? Go ahead, mystery caller.
Everybody's scared of me. That's my feeling.
Crazed, what is it?
Hey, what's up?
Hey!
Crazed.
Wouldn't answer me.
How's it going?
You're going, dude. Big,
I just wanted to say, I wanted to just say hey, and guys, I just want to throw in a good word for the DJ New Style podcast.
Okay.
And the thing is, I really appreciate the time you took and put on with my podcast and everything.
Sure.
But I mean, am I the person who's actually headlining this thing?
Well, you're all headliners. Let's see who we have so far, Fez.
Well, what we're going to do is the Night of 100 podcast will be this Sunday, starting at 9 o'clock in the East with Sleeves,
Uh-huh.
followed by Way Too Hip Radio.
Yeah.
Then it is Crazed in his podcast, followed by DJ New Style. 1 a.m., it's the generic show with Redding, and then we wrap up 2 a.m. with Bo and Hose.
All right. Dean, come on in here. Are you done the Bow and Hose right now? Are Bow and Hose podcast already done?
Yes.
That one's in the can?
Yep, we finished it.
Is it a good one?
yesterday. Yeah, we're happy with it.
Has anybody heard it yet? Have you? Go ahead over, Pitsy. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. They touched on a little sports, a little bit of everything. It was very enjoyable.
Would you say it's not too filthy?
No, not too filthy.
Why don't we do that? If we put those guys on that late, why don't we give them 2? So we'll give them the afternoon when we're going to do a big city broadcast. We're going to do Lene broadcast, and then we can do Bows and Hose.
We have Unmasked. That just got announced today. They just got the email. Unmasked with Lewis Black is 2 p.m.
All right, then
on
why
Sunday.
don't we put it on Friday night at like midnight?
Ooh.
Okay.
We'll give it to
Is that cool?
Thank you, guys.
All right.
yeah,
That's really nice. Thank you so much.
because I don't want you going too late. Even though on the West Coast,
It's
it's
still
really nice.
Thank you.
So that way you'll get 2 of
So I'm
those.
the third one on, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's that, Crazed?
I'm the third one on.
Yeah,
said.
you're the third one on.
Yeah, you go third.
That's anchor position.
Can I ask Craze the question?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Craze, you have 2 hooker stories. Is there any possibility you have a third hooker story?
No, I don't.
Why, are you trying to option it for Gap 3? Or?
I'm just saying, I would, it seems like there could be more development in there. I think you should go out and get another hooker story, Grace.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind if we ever do Son of Gap. I wouldn't mind if it started Crazed. Now, one of the worst things I've ever seen, it's up on ronfez.net.
I could come in Friday, if that's possible.
It's, what's that?
He wants to come in on Friday, but...
Absolutely can. One of the worst pictures I've ever seen is Fez sucking on Crazed's finger.
Oh.
Pretending it's a little dick.
Well, I'm going to probably be a little bit late, but because I have a personal training session.
It's working out great. You don't have to tell me, brother.
Yeah,
hey,
it is.
Sumo?
It's working out great.
Are you going to bring an unchicken sandwich?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to bring.
Either that or an
It'll be a
unturkey.
surprise.
Have something to eat.
Yeah, I'm trying to go on a diet, because and at least plan my food, because I set up a goal. I want to be 280 by this December.
That'll be great. It would be great.
Down to 280.
Yeah.
All right, Crazed. So,
all right, have a good one.
All right, big weekend for you. All right, bye. What's the Unmasked?
The Unmasked is Lewis Black. It kicks off season 2 of Unmasked.
Already? They're doing that?
Yep,
Wow.
just got the email this morning.
Fast turnover.
Why, Earl, I'd rather start and do the Unmasked at nighttime. Anyway, after this one.
All right, we'll talk to the guys in D.C. about it. But, yeah, I mean, it makes more sense to put them on at night.
Well, it's going to premiere this Saturday, 8 p.m. on XM Comedy 150. That's this Saturday night. And then Sunday, it's 2 p.m. on The Virus.
All right. Jeez, every time I turn around, it's another thing.
I know.
It's just everything all the time. Me and, if you really think about it, me and David Lynch go through so many weird things in our lives. We're so much alike. You know what I'm going to do when I leave here, too? I'm going to buy white pants. Because David Lynch and his best friend, they have a whole sportier look that's better than me and better than you guys.
It's springtime.
For Hitler.
Truman Capote-ish.
In Germany. Paul, so
Yes,
this
sir.
weekend is Iron Man. Did you see it? Did you like it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, very good. The reason it probably is at the very top of superhero movies is because it's believable. It's based on technology. It's something that could happen. I mean, nobody has built an Iron Man suit.
What happened to our cake? Thought we were all having a nice cake.
Table out there.
She keeps saying there's no plates, but paper towels will suffice, I think.
What, did we send somebody out? Did they get a little milk with it, too? Let's turn it into a wonderful day.
I told them.
Turn it into a wonderful thing.
Not literally. I told Pitsy.
If you're going to have
get
cake,
soda?
why not?
I thought
Soda, what are we, animals? What are we, children?
I don't know. Am I the only one that eats cake and soda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless you're
weirdo.
at a kid's party. We either have tea or milk or coffee in the real
Freak.
world.
Diabetes girl.
All right, we'll have soda. Soda's fine, honey. Don't make a big deal out of it. By the way, did you see the picture of Lily's new comic book?
Oh, from Robot Artist on
Yeah.
ronfez.net.
Fantastic.
From the womb of...
Did you see that, Lily? Did you see the picture of yourself as a comic superhero? Breaking hearts?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was really nice. Except for the vroom vroom. I mean, I don't want to be, known as the vroom vroom girl.
You brought up Vroom Vroom as your secret...
It was something that I originated, but it's not the only thing about me.
It's your thing.
But it's not the only thing.
What is the other things that we're missing?
Other things.
Like
too.
what?
Things.
Say, you got no other things. You got Vroom Vroom.
Be happy.
The other thing is Ram Ram.
It's nice that... Oh, man, now she's mad at you. See the look you got.
Zoom Zoom.
So, Polo, this is the best comic book movie ever made?
No, I mean, it's probably up there, though, because, okay, you have Robert Downey Jr. Actually, Jeff Bridges is equally great in the movie.
I didn't know that. I'm a huge Jeff Bridges fan.
Yeah, I mean, he really plays this corporate...
And then I'm also a Nash Bridges fan, which is odd.
That is odd.
Yeah. And Todd Bridges. I love
weirder.
London Bridges, except for they're always falling down. All right, so this is the best comic book movie ever.
I'm saying it's very good. It's
Up to
very
this point, what was the best comic book movie you ever saw,
I
Dave?
mean, the Spider-Man...
Batman. The new Batman.
Earl?
I would say the 89 Batman. I like that a lot. Still.
That was the first one?
Yeah, in 89 with Tim
And
Burton.
Fez?
Sin City.
Is that really a comic book, though, since it's not about superheroes?
Yeah, it's a comic book.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But Marv, he's kind of superhuman.
God, it's like talking to a kid now. This is why you're being locked up, because you actually made the thing Marv was kind of superhuman.
You know, the interesting
Try
thing...
to have a conversation.
The interesting thing, too, is that, Tony Stark is a billionaire and Bruce Wayne is a billionaire. But Bruce Wayne has a lot more million. I think he has $6 billion, and Tony Stark has $3.5 billion. Yet Tony Stark has really done a lot more with his money than Bruce Wayne. And I don't know what the problem is with that. He doesn't seem as creative as Tony Stark. I mean, tremendous brain and a lot of money. So, I mean, the comparison there is between the rich guys. I mean, there's nobody like that.
It is true that Bruce Wayne doesn't really live all that large. He just has one big house. But he doesn't really, it's always like the Wayne Foundation.
Yeah, well, his money's going into bat gadgets.
Yeah, and you think it takes a just small chunk of change to run the Batcave? No. That's a lot of money in there.
But you don't think that his money could have been better spent, let's say, paying out a security force or helping education instead of coming up with some kind of belt that he could have?
But those cops are all crooked. You can't hire a security force in Gotham City. They'll all turn bad.
You really believe that?
I do.
You don't think that this is just the angle of a madman? See, here's the problem, I think, with the human race. You don't believe in good. We do not believe in good. That's why I think that we spend more money on bombs than we do on education. We cannot, for the life of us, see good happening. We don't believe in good. We believe in bad. And we think about fighting bad rather than making good.
Well, it's always the way it's going to be. That's why there's never going to be world peace.
Of course there will be.
There will never be.
You never saw Star Trek?
I've seen Star Trek.
You can't have Star Trek, right? That can't be the future without world peace.
Well, then that future is not happening.
How do you figure? All you really need is world security, the people of the world to come together. I mean, we have United States peace, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're not going to have murder, but there's no way in the world that you should have armies lining up against each other. It's just too ridiculous. I mean, who used to fight more than Europe? They fought all the time. Look how rare that is now. Now they're unified. They're, trading. They get the money together. The last thing France is thinking about is rolling into Spain, trying to conquer them. But they did that for centuries and centuries and centuries. Now, can you even imagine the nations of Europe lining up against each other?
No, that would be really hard to imagine.
And that's only 50 years ago.
Right.
That's only 50 years ago. So really, look how close we are to it right now.
But there's always going to be, fanatics and terrorists.
That's not the same thing as a war.
But it's going to keep there from being world peace.
All right, so you're saying that there's no peace in the United States because occasionally we have murders. Or would you say this is overall peaceful?
I'd say we're overall peaceful.
It'll be the same type of thing. You're still going to have a couple of maniacs. I mean, we have it in this country where some kid runs into a school and shoots everybody. But overall, this is a peaceful place to live. And that's the way the rest of the world's going to be. We're very, very close to it right now. The problem is everybody's so negative about everything. You never want to think that we've made any progress. What do you think, Paul? Is this movie any good?
I think it's a shame that Bill Gates has not done anything to try and become a superhero. He's only doing his philanthropy thing.
He's a pussy. What's he going to do?
That we know of.
Who's Bill Gates going to beat up?
Well,
I'll fucking destroy Bill Gates in a fight.
But that's the point. Iron Man built the suit. He's going to kick Batman's ass because his suit's a better suit. And
motherfucker, take $2 billion to build a suit, and I'll meet you right down on the seafront, and I'll beat the shit out of you, Bill Gates.
He's got the money to build a better
Build
suit.
the best suit you fucking come up with. I see what he looks like. I'm going to beat the dog shit out of him. That suit better be a transformer.
This is what he should be putting his money into, and maybe do something for the world. I mean, I know he's a big philanthropy guy now. Him and his buddy Buffett, they're giving away billions.
Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah.
No,
Margaritaville.
How much money did he make off that song?
He toured a lot.
Does anyone understand the mystery of Jimmy Buffett?
No. No. You would think by now he'd be playing Great Venture and...
I put Jimmy Buffett the same place I put Seals and Croft. I don't put one above or below the other. I don't know why people don't have hummingbird hats and follow Seals and Croft from town to town. Earl, you know music. What is the mystery of Jimmy Buffett?
It brings out, I think, that inner corporate dude type deal, because that's the one show where, like, people who wear suits and they're really buttoned down, that's their day to get loose and go crazy and get
So it's
drunk.
almost like Halloween for them.
To a degree, yeah.
They can pretend there's something else.
Yeah, they can get drunk. They get. I've seen it with my old bosses. Like, they're very straight laced. They go to a Buffett show. They get wasted at a Buffett.
But they can do that anytime they want. Why Buffett?
He coined it because half of his songs are about drinking.
He markets himself.
Why don't we get drunk and screw and all that fucking bullshit?
He's got.
All right, here's another mystery. What is the mystery of this Neil Diamond? Why is he still around after all these years?
It may be that people just like to sing his song, like he's a sing-along type guy.
I understand. Good songwriter. He's written hits. But as a performer, am I crazy here?
Well, you're a huge demographic who, is big into voting, and they also turn up for Neil Diamond is old women, or at least women 60 and over. And they do not go away for Neil Diamond. They are rabid.
He's gigantic tour every time he goes out.
Right, and those women can make his album into the top 10 on the charts.
He did American Idol this week. They did all his songs on Idol this week.
And my grandmother tuned in.
You know what couldn't be worse? Those idols never sing as good as anybody that they bring out. They always look worse. Because I would just go, well, Neil Diamond sings better than you. How could you be a fucking idol? Earl, who's somebody you don't understand the appeal? And I really like a long-term appeal. Because some of these people, you would think they were a fad, but they never went away.
For a long time, I couldn't understand the Dead. I mean, the fact that they're still touring now.
You know why you don't understand is because you're black. I don't think black people ever understand the Grateful Dead.
But the whole, following around the country, don't wash your feet, that whole nonsense.
You don't think that's a little bit of a stereotype?
I've known Deadheads that they follow that thing to the core.
I'm not washing your feet. Stop being like that, Earl.
I'm not being like that.
Stop having white hate.
But, I mean, that part of it, I was like, okay, if you're a fan of the music, fine. Traveling and following them all over the place, never got that.
Because you've never left Queens. You've been the furthest you've been is this building. And even this makes you nervous. He asked me the other day, is there anything on the other side of the Hudson River?
Oh, Jesus.
I go, you've heard of New Jersey before.
Come on.
He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's like one of those medieval maps where it just breaks off into nothingness. And then there's just like a drawing of a dragon around where Pennsylvania would be.
Queens is his little town like in the Truman Show.
Yeah.
He can never go over the jetty.
He's going to run into the edge. The painted backdrop.
What do you think is the biggest area you need to live in? If they said you couldn't leave this area for the rest of your life, I'll take care of all the expenses, but, you'll live like a rich person. What's the smallest area you could pick for yourself?
I would need a whole town.
A town?
A town, yes. I would need just a town, maybe 5 miles by 6 miles.
All right, 5 by 6 miles. And if I gave you, let's say, $20 million, you wouldn't leave there.
I would take that in a second. You could probably get me for a lot worse. You could probably get me
$20 million. What's the smallest place that you would live forever?
For $20 million?
$20 million.
Fuck, run! I am not just shitting. Give me a half a city block. Why is that funny for $20 million?
And then I get to tie a chain to your neck, like your dog, so you can't go any further.
I'm surprised people think that's a joke. It's $20 million. All
right,
I'm going to live in a half a city block.
Let's just say, could you live somewhere that is the size of a football field?
Yes, for the right price.
$20 million.
Yes.
How about $8 million?
Yes.
Okay, that is easy. $1 million?
Yeah, for $1 million, I'd still do it. But that's my absolute minimum. But for $1 million to live in a football field, all the shit they could get, I would come up with a new movie theater, a pool. I'd make my own little ocean, beach, maybe on the 20-yard line.
You realize that we're not living in 1830. I don't know where you think if the city block
Right.
that you lived in happened to be the Upper East Side,
Yeah.
you're not even getting a house for $20 million. You're gonna have to fucking work somewhere.
You can ship all your comforts into your area, your designated zone.
I know, but you wouldn't be a little claustrophobic.
No. Not for $1 million. I get to watch movies. I get to play the Wii. I get to do all this shit. You know, I get to do what I want. My favorite thing is to watch movies and TV. I would build a gigantic fucking screen and be at home. It's a big deal. I've been to England and all that shit. It's not that great. I've been to the Grand Canyon. It's a big fucking hole. Whoa. I've traveled.
So you've seen it all.
I've seen it all. I've traveled. I've never
And
been
the
to
best
Asia.
thing ever is a Wii and a movie screen. That's the best thing that the planet Earth has to offer.
And homemade beach.
Earl, what about for you?
Island comparable to the size of Manhattan. I need space.
You need an island.
Yeah, I need.
And
I
you'd
need-
go there for $20 million.
Yeah, I would need.
Would you be willing to do this? For $20 million, you go back to Africa. Because I can make calls. By the way, you will be taking your family.
Make sure you call all of my uncles. You're going to make some rings.
They're ready to chip
I got $200 for you, Rod.
Hey, somehow we raised $40 million. Right away. How did that happen?
Earl, we also want you to take Al Sharpton for an extra 20.
But I'd go back to Africa for like for 40
What do you mean
million.
back to Africa? You never been
I
there.
know, I've never been there.
The furthest you've been is Jamaica, and that's Jamaica, Queens.
He acts like he'll get back there and he'll just recognize the old neighborhood.
Earl actually on his last vacation, he sent me greetings from Jamaica, but it was Queens. And it was just Earl in front of that lemon ice place. What's the name of that, Earl?
The Lemon Ice King of that's actually
Of Corona?
Of Corona, yes.
Why don't you bring some of them in one day? By the way, this cake was delicious.
Oh, Mike and Hope, thank you very much for the cake.
I hope you guys didn't dose us. Really?
Uh-oh.
You know what I like? The fact that after I ate it, I looked up and they were still there. I get very nervous when I eat something and the people who gave it to me are gone. Which I did eat a little piece of paper that David Lynch gave me. Just a little tab.
That wasn't smart.
Hmm?
That was not smart.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
Fuzzy.
Don't.
You're going to a mental institution this weekend.
I know I'm going to a mental institution.
Blue Highway Part 2. Fez.
Here's Mike. You're on Fez.
Hey, buddies.
What's
Hey, I
up?
just wanted to ask you, Dave, would you give up drinking for $20 million?
Yeah, I would. I'd give up drinking for $20 million.
And yet you won't give up drinking for your new kid. You sick bastard.
She's not worth that kind of scratch.
I already heard you make a little drinking date with Anthony.
Yeah.
You said the Saturday after the kid is done.
Right.
Not even born. When the kid is done. Like his wife is baking a cake in her womb right now. Sick prick.
I miss drinking with Mr. Anthony, so the Saturday after the
You know
kid's
what?
born, we're
You
drinking.
know that the night we went out to Florio's, this drunken bastard left a message at Anthony's house in the middle of the night, which Anthony said wasn't even English. Give me the phone. I'm
I
going to
always
delete.
do.
I'm going to
Come
delete
on.
from you.
Don't do
I'm going to
that.
delete his number.
I always leave him messages, though. That's like a little thing that we have. 'Cause
That's a thing you have. It's not his thing.
He told me he likes them. He said specifically, I like when you leave messages. So I don't say anything. I just like, hey, what's up, man?
So stupid. You know why he likes that?
Why?
He makes him feel superior.
He should. He's a genius.
Absolutely, you should feel superior to you. You calling him is the same as sound to him as a mosquito hitting up against his screen at his house. Here is Sean. Sean, you're on Fez.
Hey guys, Dave, you got your David Lynch movies mixed up. It's Blue Velvet and Lost Highway, not Blue Highway.
I didn't even pick up that. I didn't even know that you were doing a David Lynch thing. I thought maybe this was some fucking Fish song I didn't know. You were bringing out of nowhere. What about you, Fezzy? Smallest place you could live?
I'm gonna probably need a state. Yeah,
Delaware?
Delaware's kind of small. Give me like a Jersey-sized state. Something a little bit bigger.
Jersey. That's the only one.
That's that size.
But that's not Jersey. But But one that's not Jersey.
Oh, come on with that.
Fez, I'm looking over. We don't have anything shaped like Jersey, except for Jersey. Here's something exactly in your size. Jersey.
It's the only state that fits those parameters. I thought he was going to say like a Colorado type, because there's a lot of square states.
I got news for you. I don't even feel like the planet Earth is enough room for me. If I even think that I can't get off this planet, I start to feel my throat closing in. I need a little space.
How about if you could get Jupiter?
No, I need to leave this solar system.
That's asking a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, we don't have the technology for it.
Yet. But if you guys keep me alive...
You want us to freeze you?
Please. Please freeze me. I'd like to be frozen and woken up in May.
It is May.
Oh.
It just started. Today's May Day.
Was it really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go to a parade in Moscow.
Time to show off the weapons.
Afterwards, let's play Mother May I after the show today. We'll just get that old game going. No, you may not. Take 2 turnip steps. Mother, may I? Yes, you may. Here's Kevin. Kevin, you're on Running Fuzz.
Hey, what's up, boys? How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, just a quick point. Regardless of how much money you have, if you're confined to a small space, you can't go anywhere to enjoy it.
You don't understand. These people, their loves and the enjoyment they have is so small.
Yeah.
Dave, you can keep him very excited with a bunch of bubble wrap. The first thing he would get was like $400,000 worth of bubble wrap. Listen, it's popping.
That would be a good investment on my part.
Joe, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, Fez wants a whole state, but yet he can't leave his apartment. What's he need a state for?
But I like to know that I can.
Remember, I'm not even going to bring this up, but remember for New Year's resolution that he came up with, he is going to really get out and about this year. And we're, 5 months in now?
Yeah.
There's no getting out and about. And that's why I never believe anyone's resolution, what they plan on doing, how they're turning their job away. It's just pipe dreams. I said that to David Lynch. Go ahead, shut your eyes for 20 minutes and have a pipe dream like my buddy Fez. I'm going to really enjoy myself next week. Not today. Today I'm staying under these covers.
How much money am I getting for my place?
Nobody's buying your house, right?
Nobody.
What have you
put it on the
What have
market
you dropped the price down to?
Yeah.
I haven't put it. No, I'm still painting it. I've been painting for the last few weeks.
What are you asking for stink acres?
You know what you ought to paint it with? Invisible paint.
No, I'm talking about the imaginary place that you guys are all getting. I'm going to build mine on the Canadian-New York border, and it's going to be. I've dreamed about a bomb shelter. This is my dream: is to build a big bomb shelter
And put Gap in it.
No, Gap's going to be fine. We're actually negotiating that.
Not me, brother. I don't want to outlive any bomb. Do you?
Yeah.
I want to know that I'm first. I say London's drowning, and I live on the river. That's when I'll be comfortable.
I'm all about the Jericho thing. I mean, I want to come up out of my bomb shelter.
Chris Jericho?
No, the show.
Break the walls down.
I want to come out of my bomb shelter.
You're
Have the
Millennium
whole
Man.
Fucking planet to myself.
All right, Paulo, we got a break here. It seems like you don't want to talk about movies anymore.
I'm sorry.
You got nothing for us?
There's Iron Man this week. There's also Maid of Honor with Patrick Dempsey. Everybody involved with this movie should be ashamed of it. Even
Well,
Patrick
you know,
Dempsey.
remember when Patrick Dempsey was like a younger kid? He was all about personality. And now he's just about posing. Like he's like really an attractive man. And then like people that are really attractive, you know, guys, like like Brad Pitt or something, he wouldn't play this part in a movie. He wouldn't play, look at me, I'm really attractive. He would be embarrassed.
Well, he's running at the first movie roles that he can star in that he's had for years. I mean, after, Loverboy and those things in the mid-'80s, he never got a
What was
call
that
again.
one that he did? Oh, Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love.
I saw that thing about 100 times on cable.
Sure. Yeah, that's a classic.
You shit on my house! You shit on my house!
You all saw
Now,
Enchanted,
was that
right?
from a movie or are you breaking down?
That's from a movie.
Because I don't know. A lot of times you say stuff and you imagine that they happen.
That's from Can't Buy Me Love.
You know what makes me worried? You're going in the Nut Hut this weekend, and you're already at the point where you're wearing those comfortable sweaters that someone your age, you know what I mean? It looks like you're dressing for comfort.
I started freezing in here.
Are you going to wear slippers all the time, or are you going to put on shoes?
I don't know if they'll let me have shoes. I'm taking slippers. They said to bring slippers.
See, to me, that looks like you quit.
So
Slippers looks like I don't want to. Look at everybody's. Now, here's the weirdest thing, and I was talking to actually Jenny Q about this. And out of all your fears and paranoias, this is probably the one that would make me scared. Going into a nut hut, handing over my keys, my identity, and leaving it up to someone else.
I'm petrified.
Yeah, I mean, this is like everyone's kind of nightmare, you know?
Fez, you are a very important person. You go in there, you tell those people, fix me, look under my hood, give me a tune-up, get me the hell out of here.
See, that's the kind of stuff that they're going to think you're not even a person.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, Polo. Go in there ranting.
Grab them by the lapels and shake them until they understand that you don't let them fuck with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right, Paul, thanks.
The world by your
Go away. I forgot we got Z-Man here, Fonzie Z-Man. Let's bring the Z in. Play his theme music that we're going to be playing for his show.